everything's going to be okay. Mio and Kichi arrive, so Ru orders them to drag Ken and his men outside, and tell everyone to gather, because he wants them to see what he's about to do. We see everyone watching, as Ru tortures Ken, beating him to a bloody pulp, and Ru tells them this is the punishment for breaking the rules. The next day, we see that Ken's men are still tied down, but Ken is already dead, because he ended up bleeding to death. We see Ru and his friends fighting a Trihorn, but they struggle to break its scales, so Ru restrains it, and he delivers the finishing blow. They start eating it, and Ru obtains new skills, so he decides to test one of them, realizing that he can land 3 blows with a single strike. He's about to go to sleep, but Rubelia joins him, and he thinks she still can't get over the incident, so he allows her to sleep beside him. But as he wakes up, he realizes that Mio also slept beside him, and his arms are in pain, because the girls are sleeping on them. The goblins continue their training, and we meet Ru's assistant Gobi, who has just evolved into a hobgoblin, and she's responsible for teaching goblins how to do chores. Mio is the captain of the ranged unit, and Kichi is looking after the armored fighters, while Sato is in charge of the light armored unit, but Sei is the only mage in the village, so she doesn't have anyone in her unit. Ru decides to leave the training to them, and he heads deeper into the woods, where he sees another Trihorn. He tries his spell on it, killing it in an instant, and he becomes confident in his abilities, so he wanders off alone. But he sees a trail of blood, and he recalls that Gabu warned him about a dangerous creature in the woods, which is known as the Red Bear. But he decides to follow the trail anyway, and it leads him to a dead Trihorn. He thinks the creature that killed it has incredible strength, because it was able to rip through the Trihorn's scales. The ground suddenly starts shaking, as the Red Bear appears, threatening to kill him, so he thinks about running away, but he wants to obtain its skills, so he decides to fight it. Ru uses his magic, and he rushes to the bear, aiming for its head, but it blocks the spell with its hand, and Ru can't believe this, realizing that it has sharp instincts. He lunges at the bear, and he strikes its head with all his might, but he realizes that its skin is too tough, so he's forced to retreat. He covers it with his strings, but it manages to break free, and it breathes fire, burning everything in the area. But he suddenly disappears, so it starts looking for him, and we see him hiding behind a tree, using a spell to heal his wounds, as he notes that he needs to put everything on the line to defeat the bear. He charges in, as the bear breathes fire, but he protects himself with a shield, as he closes the distance, stabbing the bear's mouth. But it attacks him, sending him crashing against a tree, and he notes that he's severely injured. But he knows that the bear won't be able to breathe fire again, because his sword is stuck in its mouth.